in addition to what FEMA's providing, does the state ever pitch in and help on any of these?
What are you thinking, Betty? Concrete, 150 people, 200 people? We're still looking at $8,000 to get with your company for this.
Yeah, whichever side you decide
Right.
to go.
Have we,
What I'd like to do, if the council is
But
desires to go ahead.
let me just make one point though. I would, you know, we'll go for whatever size that you want. But you also gotta think about, you know, is that additional money gonna be there for you to get?
Right.
I feel confident that you'll get the 100. I don't know about adding another $50,000 to $100,000. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what that situation is going to be. I just throw that out there for you to think about.
we might, I know I ain't on council yet, but we're gonna be in the middle of it when we get through. Might consider doing the 100 one here and then a 50 or 100 down by the old city hall or something, where that pavilion
Freeze
there.
Mountain's where we need one,
We
somewhere
what?
over there on Old Freeze
I
Mountain.
kept hearing. Yeah, somewhere else instead of putting all our
Ducks in one.
ducks in one, eggs in one basket.
In fact, I think that's the smart thing to do, is to look at where you need them and say, okay, priority 1 is going to go right here, and it's going to be X number of people. Priority 2 is going to go right here, and we need X number of people, and so forth.
What I'd like to do is ask the council if y'all are wanting to proceed with this and willing to allocate $8,000 towards this. If you are, and we get a vote to go through that, I want to appoint a 3-member committee to work with us, and if we need to have a special call meeting, we'll do it, but go ahead and proceed, let y'all decide what size it's going to need to be, and proceed.
In order for you to apply for this grant, do you have to have those 2 locations already predetermined? That's part of
That's
the
the
grant.
biggest.
The grant, this grant revolves around wherever you pick. And so you need to have a pretty strong feeling that priority 1 is going to be right here and priority 2 is going to be right here. Because I'm not telling, let's say they come back and they say, you're approved to go. And then all of a sudden y'all decide, we really don't want it at either one of those spots. You haven't lost the grant and you haven't lost the money, but you're having to go back and get them to reapprove the location change. Just call it a scope change is what they call it. And we'll have to go back through SHPO. We'll have to go back through the federal government and have them their people go back through and determine if this new location that you decided to go to meets all their criteria. They're not looking at the structure again because they've already approved that part of it, but they are going to be looking at the land. That happened on the University of Alabama project.
How much of additional funding would be necessary for, like you said, the engineers to come out and have the property appraised and have the engineers come out and look at the property? You said that would be additional funding when you were talking about that. Do you have any idea how much additional funding that would be?
Well, what I'm asking you is, do you want to use a piece of your property that the city owns as part of your in-kind contribution? If the answer is yes, then I'll go get an appraiser to come out and tell me wherever it is you're wanting to put it, what's the value of that?
Chances are it's not going to be worth doing, because after you appraise it, you're going to have to survey it. They're going to have a survey of it too. So by the time you do that, and it's just in-kind service, and it's not dollar for dollar, is it?
Well, whatever that dollar value is,
Seems like you
it's
get
a
50% for in-kind. So
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we hire him, he takes care of that.
right.
He takes care of the appraisers, the architects, engineers.
That's right.
Right, if we hire him, He covers those.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, is if you want me to go get a appraiser to come out and appraise a piece of land that this thing's gonna go on, and you wanna use that as part of your in-kind, that's something that I'll do.
Tony?
I was just gonna ask, the $8,000 you're talking about, that covers just your fee, or is that everything soft cost for the architect, the engineer, all the way up to construction administration? What all does that
The
cover?
$8,000 is gonna cover everything required to get the project approved. Once the project is approved, the architect fees, our project management fees, any other of the fees that are associated with the build out of it are in the grant.
They're in the $100,000.
Well,
Or whatever.
whatever the estimated cost is of the project, that is in there with those costs. Those are line item costs. So,
Any other council questions? Do y'all want to go ahead and, would somebody like to make a motion to proceed with the $8,000 commitment to Mr. Culpepper's company in regard to a shelter? I'm not going to say exactly what size, but a shelter, storm shelter, and then if that's approved, I'd like to appoint a committee, then y'all can come back and tell us what size and where.
all that's gotta be done before October 14th.
Right,
Just
I understand. We gotta make the first step before we make the second one. Do I hear such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Are we talking about the concrete? We are talking about the concrete tonight.
What we're talking about is commit to him to go ahead and let him get started. And what I want to do is I want to appoint you, Ronnie, and Ann Cowan to give us what y'all think we need to have. Y'all want the 100, you want the metal one, the concrete one, or whatever, and as soon as y'all decide where and what, if we need to call another meeting to go on, we'll go on. Just however y'all want to have. I'm just thinking that's the quickest scenario. That answer your question? So, any other discussion? If not, I'm gonna ask for a roll call vote. Betty?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Rutledge?
Abstain.
Herschel?
Yes,
Ann?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. I'd like to appoint a committee to report back to the council in regard to this storm shelter that we just approved to try to attain through Encompass 360 with Mr. Culpepper. This committee can, as quick as y'all can do something, get it back to us. If y'all want, I mean, basically, I don't know that we'd have to even have another meeting as long as to proceed and let him know, because I think we're all 100% for doing something. But with that being said, I'm going to hereby appoint Betty Bradley, Ann Cowan, and Ronnie Bowman to the committee to designate what size this storm shelter needs to be, what it needs to be built of, basically pick it out and where it needs to go. And report back to us, and as soon as I get something from y'all, if this council will allow me to send an email or whatever out to everybody, if I don't get anything negative, I will make a call to him. I'll go ahead and call for a special meeting, but we'll go ahead, because time is of the essence for him, to let him proceed. That's all right with the council. For those three individuals are hereby appointed. Is there anything else in regard to this storm shelter? Mr. Culpepper, we appreciate you coming, and I promise you we'll expedite this as best we can. And these three people on this committee, I feel like they're gung-ho, ready to go, so they'll get us something very quick. Anything else? I know we can't bring up anything else because this is a special meeting just for that, but anything else to be said before we adjourn? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank y'all.
EMA has put us on a priority list, just a word. EMA has already put us on a priority list to get one for St. Clair County, so we're already put high on the list to get one. Just a tidbit there. Much like